Hello, Mark Donegan, self healing practitioner and educator, ordained minister, aka Goldilocks. I did like a freaking almost hour video. Actually, it was probably about 20 minutes yesterday, but it was long, involved, explained all of the great things I was learning about my injuries and surgeries and life in general, and did a really great job all the way around. And then turned around and went to listen to it, and my microphone wasn't turned on the whole time, which happens about 50% of the time I try to do this. So know that as many videos as I have up, there would be twice as many if there wasn't technical issues always. It's either my 50% headphone, 25% camera. And I use separate programs for both. They're different. It's kind of ancient stuff here. uh, So hurting for certain. That was something my little brother and actually my older brother and I we'd all say to each other at times. We were at our worst times, and I kind of went over yesterday medications and pain therapies and strategies and all that kind of stuff. And what's happening to me today is a continuation of a little piece of my personal um, physiology that you'd have to be a really extremely good doctor to stay up with, and you'd have to have watched every one of my videos with intent, as I hope my grandson will do someday, because much of what's in me is in him, and that's the reason I do most of these. Um, and here I am, about to be 65 next month, so I'm about to actually be officially fucking old, and I think I have learned something, despite the fact I got into a big screaming, shouting match at the market, and I just had to use Freedom of Information Act, get the contract with my farm and the city of Ukiah to review it to see just exactly what rights they have and how many of mine they violated. I don't go off for any reason, man. Especially at this age, and as sick as I feel today, hurting for certain, man. There's something wrong with my stomach. I know I have an ulcer. Stage 3, I was stage 4 chronic kidney disease. I've had 9 spinal surgeries, spinal reconstruction, the lower back in November, about 5 months ago. So this shit's kind of hectic. Very few people can keep up with it. I'm actually in 3 different medical systems. It takes that many to keep me going. And I was just looking at a picture of Sylvester Stallone at 78, and he's all jacked, and it's like, I don't know, man. I want to tell you this for reality. I see a lot of people. I live with a lot of people who are old. They're my age. They've been claiming old since the 50s or whatever. Don't be pulling that bullshit. There ain't no fucking old. There's only old when you think you're old, and when you think you're old, you think you know a bunch of shit. It's probably why I got in that argument Saturday. I mean, 50% of it's mine. You got to own your shit. Not that I'm going to apologize to certain people, but I'll apologize to all the others that heard my thunder. Because when I thunder, I scare the fuck out of everybody. Goddamn right, man. You don't come within 6 feet of me when I'm pissed off. It's like my dad finally forgave me for that, being that way. And that was a big deal. So the rest of the world can just fuck off, including my daughter, who tried to run that game on me. You just don't disrespect people. You don't want to be disrespected. You're out there doing your thing, earning your creds, right? So once you have your creds, are you going to let somebody disrespect you? No. Fuck no, you ain't. If you got my blood in you, you're going to thunder. So all that does a negative effect on the body, obviously. And you have to work those emotions through, which I'm trying to do. But regardless, I had an ulcer. Whatever's going on in my stomach, I don't know. But I've never been, even from the surgery, it feels like the surgical pain, which is brutal. I was in shock. Well, the reason I'm speaking is I have a little bit of pain medication in me. And same thing, I'm dialing that shit down, sick or no. And that could be part of the sick. I don't even fucking care. We're going down, baby. Because one thing in times right now, they ran out of that shit last month, and I don't want to be dependent on them anyways. Never did. But it took a massive amount to get me out of the hospital and home, and they cut it in half without even telling me. So if I can do that, I can do the rest. And in history, you can't die from pain. In the old days, they just used alcohol, and see, I refused alcohol. Use alcohol, and so it's like if I drank one beer at the end of every day, that would be enough for me to mentally deal with almost any of my pain, anything. Your mind is very powerful. And, people have no fucking understanding of how powerful our minds are. They do when they meet me. Um, yeah, it scares them, and jealousy, envy, fear, all that stuff. That's why I get attacked all the time. I'm so fucking tired of it. And I go out in public for a reason. So these people are not going to fuck up my Saturday markets. And it came out of nowhere like 2 months ago. And this dude that stepped off on me Saturday, I ain't even never seen him before. So how's that? Somebody I ain't even seen before stepped up in my face and told me to get the fuck out. Twice. Twice. I'm being very to people. First time I let it go. Actually, I said I did go and tell my friends I was going to write a formal complaint. I went to tell the management that, and that's when the guy jacked me up again. And that's when I jacked up. And then a bunch of bullies joined in behind them, a bunch of people that didn't like me much anyways. Same people that helped my attacker last year. I was attacked last year in the park with a skateboard. I put that fucker down to one hit. I'm tired of this shit. Step up on me and I'll put you fucking down. I don't care how old I get. I've always said that, and that's my whole intent. To live that way till the day I die. So why would you fuck with that? Ignorant motherfuckers. See, I've been dealing out a lot of reality lately. That don't go easy. So I'm gonna have to write all this shit and walk this walk with these people. And I'm more interested at the end of the month. I got my behavioral health advisory board meeting. I spent most of Saturday when I wasn't dealing with those assholes over doing my job, being a representative for veterans in behavioral health. And nobody can deny me that. I was at the VFW, which I usually don't go to. Everybody knows that. I was there loud, proud, and making sure everybody knew I was their guy. Listening to everything they had to say, taking all the time. People have no fucking idea. And it's a volunteer position. And I'm about to volunteer it right back up their ass. My resignation has been asked for. A point of pride. my appointing supervisor, when I got the call, basically said she couldn't do anything about it. So she's always extremely neutral with me, but has always made it clear that she can't stop me from saying and writing what I want. I'm engaged in about, 3 good battles with 3 fairly intelligent people that can write. So, my preacher friend won't let me go to Africa until I change the world. About to give him a call again. And last time I gave that guy a call, he said, he was like, "You're crying to me. You got enemies." You're doing good, boy. So fact check. If you believe you're right, and you go back and you check yourself, you review yourself, and you put that review out to your confidants, and hopefully you have good ones. And the review comes back solid. It's like you got to stand your ground alone. There ain't gonna be nobody there. You better be ready to fight that fight by yourself, 1 or 6, right? Okay. Just don't lose faith. so that other people will come. And even if they don't come, even if you get your ass beat, people, even those other motherfuckers are going to remember, because you're going to stand your fucking ground. It can be easy. Oh, yeah. So I'll power out on that. Peace out.